Welcome everyone to the fourth Soul Street block party. We do these monthly community calls to touch base and update you as a community member on the progress Soul Street has made over the last month and what's coming up. I have with me the team, and today we'll be discussing a surprise announcement, the rollout of Soul Street's newest version, the big one, the Wolfie NFTs. They're coming, what you need to know, how to get your Wolfie, the whitelisting mechanics, and the current content structure and what you should be doing to stay ahead of the curve. I'd like to hand over to Hein to kick us off with some good news.
Hi everyone. We're very pleased to announce the close of our private funding round, and it's really impossible for me to emphasize the credit that is due to each of our investors. Each and every one of them invested during an extremely difficult market cycle, which we all lived through since January this year. All of them managed to see through the noise of the market conditions and focus on what matters. A great team continuously delivering a great product which solves important problems experienced by a passionate community, each one of you. So some of these investors in our private round include Coinbase Ventures, 369 Capital, Crypto Playboy Capital, Magnus Capital, Odiana Ventures, Quant Theory, and Solanium. There are others that I haven't mentioned, both in the current and in prior rounds, and we're very grateful to all of them. Turning then to some of the other important tasks at hand, I'm pleased to announce that we are making good progress in setting up the Soul Street legal structure. The entities have been created, and we are undertaking various ancillary tasks in order to finalize the structuring, most of which should be done by the time we have our next block party. A couple of months ago, we mentioned that we were targeting a July 2022 launch date for the Street token, subject to market conditions. We qualified it in that way because we want the Street token to reflect what matters, the quality of the product and the strength of the team delivering it. What we don't want is for the Street token to be a reflection of negative macro conditions. As we all know, the market turned ugly about a month ago. As such, we'll unfortunately have to postpone the Street launch date for a bit. We'll communicate a new targeted launch date very soon. In the meantime, we continue to build, and the rest of the team will tell you more about that in a moment. There's a massive amount of exciting stuff on the way, including some stuff that no one else has ever done before. Given that this will involve lots of new smart contract work, we'll likewise press pause for a bit on the smart contract audit until we get closer to the anticipated launch date. We want to make sure that smart contract audit catches as much as possible. My request to you, the Soul Street community, is that you dig deep into the new version of Soul Street, the big one that we released this week. If I do say so, I think it's a massive improvement and we're very proud of it. The more feedback you give, the better the improvements that we can make to it. And we are super thankful for the feedback that you guys have already given to us on this and the previous versions. So please keep it up. All right, Nab, back to you.
Cool, thank you so much for that update, Hein. To give us more of a picture of the big one and everything to expect from our new product version, we have Alexis.
Hi there, everyone. Four block parties on the go. I'm quite proud of the team that's sticking to this. Very proud of the big one. I'm sure a few of you have seen it already. We've had the testers testing it, and now it's out and available to the greater public. It's accessible for everybody on the SolStreet.finance domain. I urge you to go take a look, go set up a fund, go put in some trades, go play around with it, invest in a fund. We still have the $1,000 cap on the fund, and the exciting new features are obviously the Mango Markets integration, which gives us access to perpetual futures contracts, and then also spot margin, which enables users to now do market neutral strategies on like funding rate, ARBs, and so on. There is something to note that you probably find that there'll be a funny sort of error if you start trying to degen your leverage higher than 3x. That's just a protection for the community where we've limited the upper bounds of leverage across all of the Mango markets to a max of 3x. We will increase that and remove those protections later on once we've sort of like happy with the alpha testing. But yeah, I urge everybody to go play around with it. It is, as Hein mentioned, a huge improvement. There's a lot of work that's gone into this, a lot of really hard problems to solve to try and get to this. As you'll notice, there are now 10 markets available on Serum, 10 markets available on Mango, and this can arbitrarily be scaled out. So we will be including more markets over time as we go through testing. So please provide feedback on the markets that you'd like to see us adding. This means that funds now can also hold more than 8 assets at a time, so you can have all 20 assets in a fund at a time. Yeah, please go play around, dig in, give us your feedback. Then sort of next on the roadmap is obviously iterating through this version, and we've actively started work on the non-custodial NFT funds, which is the next big feature on our roadmap and has been for a long time. So we're going to be working on that in parallel and hopefully have a proof of concept out for people to play around with in the near future. That will also be another first one, and the first one that SolStreet's brought to the market as well. So yeah, very exciting stuff on the road. That's all from my side, unless if there was anything else you wanted me to update them on.
No, thank you very much. Just to add a bit to that, the limits that are still in place to protect the community. The process of getting a security audit is well underway, and once that is complete, the limits will be raised. So you can look forward to unlimited fund caps and higher leverage for your PER positions.
But just to reiterate there, what Hein mentioned earlier on is that the smart contract audits are going to be pushed out. They were originally scheduled for sort of around about now, coming into July. But based off of the token launch, we're going to push out the smart contracts so that we get to capture more of the iterations and improvements in those audits, and that we get to cover the sort of full product that we've worked on. So they are going to be out. They are going to be a little bit further out, but it just means we've got some more time to play around with the current version and test it before we do go through that audit and launch the token and the mainnet version.
Thanks, Alexis. Now some exciting news. We have Jeff to update us on how we are going to be unstealthing our marketing strategy as we push all of our new products and NFTs. Jeff.
Thanks, Nab. You pretty much covered it there in that intro, so I'm going to go ahead and pass on to Patrick. Just kidding. I've got lots to say. Okay, let's see if I can not be the longest person on this block party as I have in every other block party. And that's not longest because I'm the tallest, it's longest because I speak for the longest. But anyways, the great unstealthing. Thank you, Nab. Look, the last few months have been fairly quiet. I mean, it's no secret to any of us on this call. There's a core in our community that has been active and involved, and it's been quite a cherished time, getting to play Gartic games with a handful of you at a time, and getting to kind of know you better through testing and through memes and whatever it is has been really great. And these last few months having been quiet, has been fun in that way. It's been a nice phase of our life cycle. But the next few months are not going to be that way. It's going to be pretty damn different. And I have a feeling that the next block party that we're on this time next month, even then will feel quite different already. So as things begin to liven up, and as new people begin to pour into our community, and old community members who've been semi-dormant come back to the surface, I want to call on you guys who are here and who listen to this after the fact, who've been that active core, to be our ambassadors of what SolStreet is and what we want it to continue to be, and to be kind, and to be focused on adding value at all times, to be thoughtful, not just in the sense of thoughtful kindness, but in terms of articulating yourself, in as smart way as you can, and really elevating the level of what being a SolStreeter is, because you guys are going to have some of the biggest influence in determining what that looks like. So, over the month ahead, some things you can expect. Now that the big one is live, we will be sharing over the weeks to come more on some of the big technical problems that we've solved, which Alexis alluded to. And it's easy to kind of be semi-excited and say there's a lot of work that's gone into this, but it's hard actually to properly communicate to anyone who's not been there just how enormous a feat this version of the product is. So some of that sort of documentation and articles and write-ups that we put together to document that will hopefully shine a better light on that. But this is a massive achievement, and I just want to say again, like, such a massive high five and pat on the back to the team for having gotten us to this point. Along with the big one, we have a refreshed and in some ways reimagined version of our tokenomics documents, which will be published soon. We will also then make official the announcement of the investors that Hein listed earlier on. And again, easy to gloss over the fact that in that list, Hein just mentioned some of the biggest players in crypto, some of the oldest, most established, most credible players. So don't sleep on our investors. They're going to be huge supports for the years to come. Then, as we continue to wait for the market to cater to our token genesis, we'll be, as part of that tokenomics documentation, kind of explaining better what our token genesis is going to look like, and of course how wolfies fit into all of this. So wolfies are coming, and here's a little bit of what you need to know. And before your curiosity gets the better of you about this really actionable bit, Nabil is going to be talking a little bit about whitelisting and what you'll need to know for insider information on that as soon as I've given you this last bit of my update. It's not official, it's not confirmed, but we will be looking to launch through the Magic Eden Launchpad. That'll help us reach a large number of interested people. It'll help us generate a huge amount of interest around wolfies. And ultimately, wolfies are, in part, a device to help us grow our community further. And so reaching a new audience is something that we want to do, as much as we want to reward our existing community for having been around. So making sure you guys don't lose out. And then just a really wonderful bit of kind of macro circumstantial wind in our sails is that the meta conversation around NFTs for the last few weeks in particular has really, really shifted towards utility-based NFTs, builder-backed NFTs. And although we've been working on wolfies for months, we couldn't better fit that meta. So I think the timing is just quite poetic in a sense, because wolfies, as we've been alluding to, really will be are builder backed, of course, with our team being doxed and established and having built SolStreet to what it is already. But utility is also the name of the game. As much as the wolfies are going to be beautiful, and they really are coming together quite nicely, they're also an important way for us to help get stakes in the protocol out to our community. They will impact and have accelerating effects on how you can stake your claim in the performance mining program. They will help earn your right to discounts on protocol fees, and they will be the basis for a badass exclusive community of traders and builders and NFT collectors, which I'm really excited to see what we can do with. Now I'm going to pass over to Nav to talk through his, as I said, some of that will be wolfie whitelisting.
Awesome. As you can hear by Jeff's inflection, we are all super excited about wolfies and everything they're going to bring to our community. So, how to get whitelist? Well, as Jeff also mentioned, our thesis at SolStreet has always been and always will be community first. So being here and being active is what matters most to us. That thesis was our key guiding point when deciding how to design the whitelist mechanics of the Wolfie collection. So without further ado, let me run you through how whitelisting will work. Firstly, we have the SolStreet OG whitelist. This aims to be awarded to SolStreet members in the Discord who have the SolStreet Wolf and SolStreet Cub roles. These roles have been based on feedback and activity that was provided by these users prior to the announcement of the Wolfie NFT collection and represents the SolStreet community members who have been active in helping us build since the early stages. This role will get some perks beyond just being the first to be whitelisted. We are planning to give a slight discount to these roles as well as an extra thank you. If you do not have one of these roles, there is still a lot of hope, so don't fret. The second wave of whitelists will go to, in many different ways, will be awarded to members. Firstly, these spots will be awarded to verified members of the Discord and Telegram who have participated in the Money Never Sleeps trading competitions and will be verified through just participation. Secondly, the whitelist spots will be awarded to those that achieve them through various methods of fun and exciting whitelist competitions. These whitelist competitions will be advertised to the public through SolStreet social channels and will be available to all. Of course, being here is how you see it first and get the competitive edge. Finally, just to touch on one-of-ones, all members who qualified for one-of-ones Wolfies through the Money Never Sleeps competitions, being a tester, Wolfpack of SolStreet, or being a key community figure will receive their NFT, if you're wondering about that. It's also important to note you can get multiple whitelist spots. So if you're an OG, you can get your OG role. If you participated in the Money Never Sleeps competitions, which all OGs did, you will also get that whitelist. So you can get multiple whitelist spots and mint multiple Wolfies at launch. So that's very exciting too. I'd like to just to finish up on Wolfies quickly. All these whitelist spots we'll try to make gathering them as simple as possible. So in the Discord server and in the Telegram, we'll just be providing Google Forms. So stay active for that and just be ready to fill in a form with the wallet address you'd like to use, your Discord name, your Telegram name, and you'll get your whitelist if you've qualified. So moving on, I would just like to take a moment and thank our community testers who have been helping us build and test our latest product version over the last few weeks. A new tester role will be available to claim in the tester channel soon, so if you're a tester, stay tuned for that. Finally, as Jeff also mentioned, I would like to talk about community games and competitions. The community response to our latest Gartic Games tournaments that we've been hosting has been awesome, and we'll continue to constantly play every day. You can just play, but we'll also be hosting game days to win prizes, usually in Sol. But if you have a cool idea for other prizes we could have, welcome to hear it. Cool. All input on what games you'd like to see, play, and when we should have our community game days is welcome. So currently expect weekly on Fridays, playing for some Sol in the Gartic Games. But if you'd like to see another game and a different day for competitions, please let me know. With that all being said, I would like to hand over to Pat, who will run us through everything to do with SolStreet content.
Nabil, guys, thank you for that. Yeah, what's going on, everybody in our community? This is, as Nabil said, Pat, your protocol content specialist behind the weekly and monthly reads. So today I just want to take you through, I want to provide you with a reminder of where you can find out more about what we get up to at SolStreet. So as you would have heard from the rest of the team and have hopefully, no doubt, encountered and read in our monthly roundup and weekly mailer, May was an absolutely mad one for us with community testing and protocol tweaking, the various upgrades. Yeah, plenty was tackled in prep for the big one. What's more, as you heard from Jeff just a moment ago, there's some crazy stuff still to come. As an essential part of my role here as the content specialist, I have to ensure that you're able to stay on top of things, all things SolStreet. So yeah, today I've got a quick reminder for you all of where you'll always be able to find yourself in the loop with where we're headed and where we're currently at. For starters, we have the weekly mailer, where Nab and I set you up with the summary of all the integrations and improvements our team has been working on, as well as all of the bugs we remedied in the past week. The weekly mailer drops same time, same place, every Friday, 4:30 UTC. Even though you should already be, we know that not everyone's a subscriber to it. Luckily, all of these updates can also be found in greater detail in our monthly roundups. Nice compliments and, useful bit of reading before these community calls. And yeah, whilst I'm tasked with keeping you in the loop when it comes to all things SolStreet protocol, I've also got you covered when it comes to the broader Solana ecosystem and DeFi space. So similarly to the manner in which our team builds, crypto does move at an incredible pace. It's difficult to sift through the noise and distill what's actually happening, what's actually relevant. So luckily I've got you all covered with a selection of, let's say, carefully curated reads and fresh news stories from around the ecosystem. Please be sure to check out our SolStreet journal. It drops every week, every Thursday, 5:30 UTC. I really want to encourage you all to post questions and share your hot takes, really get involved there on the SolStreet journal channel. Moving forward, I'll be sharing more content there in the way of sort of, to-the-minute news and interesting updates on what's going on. So please keep an eye out for that bit of alpha. Remember that around the same time as we release a monthly roundup, you'll also be able to find the past month's copies of the SSJ served up as PDFs. So yeah, be sure to share your memes, the SolStreet journal, to those you'll think will be interested, as well as any recommendations you might have for it, what you'd like to see, what you no longer find relevant, please do let me know. And whilst you're at it, please subscribe to our Medium and YouTube channels, and if you're active on the platform, be sure to check us out on LinkedIn. But yeah, now, before I hand it back over to you, thank you again, everybody, our subscriber base, new and old. It's been fantastic to have you with us. Everyone, that's things on the content side. Thanks.
Thanks, Pat. As a little comment on Pat, he is an extremely knowledgeable degen, if you will, self-proclaimed. And personally, I must give this little bit of alpha to you guys, that just from following Pat's SolStreet journal NFT calls, things tend to go quite well on the profit side. So that's a little bit of alpha there. Always follow Pat's SolStreet journal.
Nab, yeah, I will say there, NFADYOR, and most of the time it's always recaps afterwards, but if there's anything very interesting happening, I'll be sure to drop a thing in there, of course.
Thanks, Pat. Cool. As a final word, if you are here, thank you for being early. I hope that we can continue to build together, and I look forward to seeing you all in the Discord channels to discuss new features and product decisions, your thoughts on new channels, and the Discord design as we make way for many new community members who will come through for our product and our NFT collection. We can discuss the current markets and have some fun with games and mini competitions. I always enjoy chatting with all of you guys about pretty much anything. So yeah, I'm just gonna have a quick look in the AMA Sessions channel. I see there's some chat about the Wolf NFTs. We'll discuss this more. As Jeff said, the NFT collection is 1 or 2 steps away from being set in stone. So we're very welcome to hear your feedback, and yeah, let's make this month a big one. And with that, try out the big one, SolStreet.finance, and let us know in the chat how it goes. Excited to invest in your funds. Cool. Thanks to the team for being here today. appreciate you guys and everyone who showed up.
Thanks for always taking us through it. Thanks, Nap.
Cheers,
Okay.
guys. Thanks a lot for joining.
Cheers, guys. See you here next month, same time, same place, much, much further down the road. It's exciting times ahead.
Cheers,
Cheers.
everyone. Bye.
Thanks, hey guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye bye.